Hello, and thank you for joining our session on reading intervention using iReady. Today we will learn about how to use iReady diagnostic results to plan individual and small group intervention in reading. Lessons will support learning in the core curriculum and will also address unfinished learning. Our outcomes and goals will be to increase familiarity with iReady, understand how to use iReady diagnostic data for targeted individual and small group intervention using a strengths-based approach. We will learn how to find the resources to support the needs of our students. iReady provides the data and intervention resources to support students who need additional time and assistance. iReady targets the prerequisite skills necessary for students to succeed in their grade level core curriculum. Let's talk about the what, why, and how of iReady. What is iReady? iReady is a two-part system. Part 1 is an assessment that will give us baseline data to show where students are with regard to grade level proficiency, college and career readiness standards K through 12, areas of strength and growth, and a typical growth measure and a stretched growth measure, aspirational but attainable, that will push all students on a path to proficiency and beyond, similar to MAP. Part 2 helps teachers analyze and use data to plan small group differentiation and fuels a personalized instruction system so every student gets a personalized learning path based specifically on their diagnostic results. They will get lessons in domains where they're ready to show growth. iReady also provides just-in-time support. It puts students into groups that would be well served to work together in a small group instruction setting, provides teaching tools to help with those areas of needs. Why use iReady? iReady is research-based. Data regarding student achievement is provided to teachers. Students are automatically provided with a tailored learning pathway. iReady is an effective tool to accelerate student learning. Multiple approaches to learning are beneficial to students. Why use iReady intervention? At times, students need more than the recommended 45 minutes each week in iReady reading to address underdeveloped skills. iReady provides additional targeted instruction and practice in specific skills to accelerate learning. Students benefit from a second exposure to challenging skills. Intervention through iReady provides teachers an easy and effective way to meet the specific reading needs of their students. How to use iReady diagnostic results. Now that we have the diagnostic results, let's find out how to use them for intervention. Go to the home page, click on Reports, Class, Diagnostic Results, and Reading. Once you get there, you'll see two graphs, a pie chart and a bar graph. The view you see is a three-level placement. In the three-level placement view, proficiency has three categories. Green equals at or above grade level, yellow equals 1 grade level below, and red equals 2 grade levels below. This provides an overview of the class performance. It also builds a personalized learning path for each student and displays next steps for instruction. If you select the 5-level placement view, you'll see more proficiency groups. Student achievement is disaggregated further. The dark green are students at or above grade level. The lighter green are students on grade level. Yellow shows students 1 grade level below, and red shows students 2 or more grade levels below. Gray indicates students have not completed the assessment. Best practices for using diagnostic results to support student growth. Now that we can see the performance of our students, let's focus on these 4 steps. Review diagnostic reports, set goals with students, Begin personalized instruction. Utilize instructional groupings. Step 1. Review diagnostic reports. Schedule time to review data to understand whole class performance and domain results. Scroll down from the level placement graphs to see detailed individual student performance. Click on Overall Placement arrow and select colors you'd like to highlight to display proficiencies. Select a student to learn more about his or her performance in each domain. Here's the overall placement view using the 5-level placement view. The bottom of that page has each student in your class and their proficiency levels. A closer look displays the 6 areas of reading. Each row is a student and his or her proficiency levels. I clicked on the drop-down menu on the left corner and selected multicolors to readily see student strengths and areas of growth. The Diagnostic Results Student Report provides you with strengths and areas of growth for an individual student with clear next steps for instruction in each domain. If we look at this slide further, on the left side of the screen, we can see the definitions of typical growth and stretch growth. The middle shows a graph with target and stretch growth. The right side gives us another visual of the 6 components of reading with a colored dot indicating the proficiency level. If we take a closer look at the right side of that screen, we can see Can Do and Next Steps down arrows. Clicking on each one of those, or scrolling down farther on that page and clicking on one of the components of reading, we'll see what students can do and their next steps. I selected vocabulary on the student profile because the diagnostic indicated it as the student's greatest need. Below the 5-level placement view, there is a developmental analysis. It summarizes what the student needs in this domain. On the bottom left side, what students can do is specifically outlined and how they relate to the standards. The right side shows next steps and resources for instruction. We can see 3 plus signs, which show us the next essential learnings for this student. I clicked on one of the plus signs. It clearly laid out what the teacher can do to support the student in this domain. And underneath that, it provided tools for instruction, actual lesson plans to use in individual and small group instruction. Here is an example to support students in vocabulary. Now that we know the results of the diagnostic for each student, it's time to have a conversation with them. Step 2 is to set goals with students. Discussing results with students and setting goals are important parts of the process. You have already reviewed the diagnostic and become familiar with each student's results. All students would benefit from a conversation regarding the results of the diagnostic to understand their strengths and areas of growth. Younger students can be shown the diagnostic data and what the next steps in their learning will be. Older students can help analyze the data and self-identify next steps in their learning with teacher guidance. Here's just a thought to keep in mind when having this conversation. When conducting a data chat with your student, you want to discuss strengths and areas of improvement based on the student's diagnostic results. You want to approach the conversation in a collaborative manner to encourage student ownership. Having students track their progress in personalized instruction is also an effective practice. At the bottom, there are more resources from iReady regarding student chats. Here are some prompts and tips to help your chats go smoothly and to ensure they're meaningful. Prompt: iReady gives us 2 measures. These are your personal measures we will use to create your goals. Explain the iReady growth measures to your students. We are looking at your data so that we can help you learn. Keep conversations grounded in data, but provide context. What did you notice when looking at this data? Which domains are your strengths? Encourage students to take ownership over their goals and next steps by setting a positive tone, pausing to let them reflect, and helping them brainstorm ideas. Where would you like to be at the end of the year? Let's set a goal that will help you get there. Focus on each student's individual performance and goals. Avoid making comparisons to peers. Think about what you were doing during the assessment. Do you feel like you tried your best? Suggest a broad range of actions to students that include effective habits, staying focused and taking notes, as well as measurable actions in iReady personalized instruction, such as time on task and percentage of lessons passed. Let's talk about ways you can track your progress in personalized instruction. Use the conversation to help the student get motivated to learn and develop self-assessment skills. Follow up after your conversation to help keep students committed to their plan. Benchmark Advance is also referenced on iReady. They are very complementary to one another. Lessons are suggested and page numbers referenced to offer further intervention in these areas of growth. We're now ready to discuss iReady personalized instruction. Let's start with the design principles. Student agency, an active experience that motivates students to take ownership of their learning. Dive right in. Starting the lesson with a challenge engages students. Responsive instruction, providing just-in-time instruction keeps students working at the most efficient pace. Productive struggle, instruction that allows for failure but provides a path to success enhances student learning. Strategic scaffolds, supports and tools that help students access what they're learning, empower students to take ownership over their learning, and increase their independence. Step 3, personalized instruction. After your students complete the diagnostic, iReady uses that data to set up a series of lessons for each student, tailored to individual learning needs, called My Path. Your students will be ready to start once they log into iReady. It is important to consider how personalized instruction fits into your own practice and My Path lessons. iReady does not replace you as the teacher, nor your judgment about student needs. This is a supplement to your first best teaching. You play a critical role in managing and supporting your students' online learning. Teacher-assigned lessons provide extra practice and support to iReady My Path lessons. Here's what it looks like. Begin personalized instruction. Go back to the home page and select Assess and Teach. Under Resources, select Instruction. Under Personalized Instruction, select Reading. Find Preview or Assign Lessons. Select lessons to address concerns displayed on Diagnostic. Click green Assign Lessons on right side of screen. Assign reading lessons. You can assign these lessons to individual students or groups. Click green arrow on bottom right side of screen. Select population of students. Scroll down and assign supplemental lessons to students identified as needing additional support in this specific skill. Click green arrow on bottom right side of screen. Schedule and confirm. If you add more than one supplemental lesson, you can order them by importance. Be sure to include an available date and a due date. Click green Assign buttons at bottom right side of screen. Here's what you'll see. Assess and Teach, Instruction, Personalized Instruction, Reading. Down at the bottom is where you preview or assign lessons. Here's the next screen to begin personalized instruction. And complete personalized instruction. Assign to, select student population, schedule and confirm. And then you'll assign lessons. Here's your role in iReady personalized instruction. Prepare your students. Introduce iReady as a new learning tool to address their own specific learning needs to help them achieve even more. Schedule time, 45 minutes each per week of iReady math and reading. Set goals. Meet with students and ask them to track their progress. 4. Establish class routines for individual and small group instruction. Predictability will help you and your students. 5. Actively monitor. Select one day each week to review lesson progression and performance. 6. Respond. Students perform better with early intervention. And 7, communicate. Parents can encourage and support their student. Here's what your students will see when they log into iReady. Teacher-assigned lessons to support core learning organized by due date. Parent resources on the top right corner. My path, diagnostic test and lessons based on that test result. And at the bottom, we can see where students can monitor progress and growth. It shows students' key lesson stats, lesson scores, tracks lessons streaks, shows completed work, and the diagnostic results. And last, we are on to step 4, instructional groupings. There are 5 groupings. Groupings follow the 5-level placement, with grouping 1 needing the most support. Below the groupings are student names. Student with an asterisk after their name are significantly behind grade level in that specific skill or domain and may be better served with individual instruction. Students without an asterisk would benefit from small group instruction. Recommendations are made for teacher-led instruction on the left side of the screen, and resources are provided on the right. To get to instructional groupings from the home page, click on Reports, Class, Instructional Groupings, and Reading. It will bring you to a page that has your class groupings. When you click on one of the groupings, you'll see how many students were placed in that group and their proficiency levels in each of the 6 domains. I selected Group 1, which has students who are 2 or more grade levels below. If we follow the proficiency levels across, we can see that the first student has the greatest needs. That student has an asterisk next to his or her name. The second and third students do as well. These students have been identified as needing additional differentiated instruction. This can be achieved by offering more intensive instruction to develop decoding skills. Phonics has been identified as the next essential learning for this grouping. The bottom left side of the screen shows recommendations for teacher-led instruction and what students will be working on in this grouping. And the right side shows the resources and tools that teachers can use. Let's recap. Today we learned how to review diagnostic reports, set goals with students, begin personalized instruction, utilize instructional groupings. Additional iReady resources have been provided to help students get ready to take the diagnostic, a self-regulation toolkit, getting the most from personalized instruction, and planning small group instruction. There's also the map writ to iReady correlation. Parent resources are included here for guidance and tips for students taking the iReady diagnostic at home. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. If you have any additional questions regarding intervention, please email me at Stephanie Martin or stmartin@powausd.com. Thank you so much for your time.